Hi, welcome back. Let's read chapters 30 through 32 today and enjoy the beautiful scenery from here in Maine. The first book of Moses, Genesis, chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she could not give Jacob children, she became jealous of her sister. She said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I'll die." Jacob became furious with Rachel and exclaimed, "Am I in the place of God, who has kept you from having children?" She replied, "Here is my servant Bilhah. Have sexual relations with her so that she can bear children for me, and I can have a family through her." So Rachel gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife, and Jacob had marital relations with her. Bilhah became pregnant and gave Jacob a son. Then Rachel said, "God has vindicated me. He has responded to my prayer and given me a son." This is why she named him Dan. Bilhah, Rachel's servant, became pregnant again and gave Jacob another son. Then Rachel said, "I have fought a desperate struggle with my sister, but I have won." So she named him Naphtali. When Leah what saw that she had stopped having children, she gave him her servant Zilpah to Jacob as a wife. Soon Leah's servant Zilpah gave Jacob a son. Leah said, "How fortunate." So she named him Gad. Then Leah's servant Zilpah gave Jacob another son. Leah said, "How happy I am, for women will call me happy." So she named him Asher. At the time of the wheat harvest, Reuben went out and found some mandrake plants in a field and brought them to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Give me some of your son's mandrakes." But Leah replied, Wasn't it enough that you have taken my husband? Would you take away my son's mandrakes too?" "All right," Rachel said. "He may sleep with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes." When Jacob came in from the fields that evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, "You must sleep with me because I have paid for your services with my son's mandrakes." So she had marital relation, so he had marital relations with her that night. God paid attention to Leah. She became pregnant with and gave Jacob a son for the fifth time. Then Leah said, "God has granted me a reward because I had given my servant to my husband as a wife." So she named him Issachar. Leah became pregnant again and gave Jacob a son for the sixth time. Then Leah said, "God has given me a good gift. Now my husband will honor me because I have given him six sons." So she named him Zebulun. After that, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah, or Dinah. Sorry. Let me fix this. After that, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. Then God took note of Rachel. He paid attention to her and enabled her to become pregnant. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Then she said, "God has taken away my shame." She named him Joseph, saying, "May the Lord give me yet another son." After Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Send me on my way so that I may go home to my own country. Let me take my wives and my children, whom I have acquired by working for you. Then I'll depart, because you know how hard I've worked for you." But Laban said to him, "If I have found favor in your sight, please stay here, for I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me on account of you." He added, "Just name your wages. I'll pay whatever you want." "You know how I have worked for you," Jacob replied, "and how well your livestock have fared under my care. Indeed, you had little before I arrived, but now your possessions have increased many times over. The Lord has blessed you wherever I worked. But now, how long must it be before I do something for my own family too?" So Laban asked, "What should I give you?" "You don't need to give me anything," Jacob replied, "but if you agree to this one condition, I will continue to care for your flocks and protect them. Let me walk among your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark-colored lamb, and the spotted or speckled goats. These animals will be my wages. My integrity will testify for me later on, when you have come to verify that I have taken only the wages we agreed on. If I have in my possession any goat that is not speckled or spotted, or any sheep that is not dark-colored, it will be considered stolen." "Agreed," said Laban. "It will be as you say." So that day Laban removed the male goats that were streaked or spotted, all the female goats that were speckled or spotted, all that had any white on them, and all that dark-colored lambs, and put them in the care of his sons. Then he separated them from Jacob by a 3-day journey, while Jacob was taking care of the rest of Laban's flocks. But Jacob took fresh-cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees. He made white streaks by peeling them, making the white inner wood in the branches visible. Then he set up the peeled branches in all the watering troughs where the flocks came to drink. He set up the branches in front of the flocks when they were in heat and came to drink. When the sheep made it in front of the branches, they gave birth to young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. Jacob removed these lambs, but he made the rest of the flock face the streaked and completely dark-colored animals in Laban's flock. So he made separate flocks for him and did not mix them with Laban's flocks. When the stronger female were in heat, Jacob would set up the branches in the troughs in front of the flock, so they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weaker, he did not set the branches there, so the weaker animals ended up belonging to Laban and the stronger animals to Jacob. In this way, Jacob became extremely prosperous. He owned large flocks, male and female servants, camels, and donkeys. Jacob heard Laban's sons were complaining. Chapter 31. Jacob heard Laban's sons were complaining. "Jacob has taken everything that belongs to our father. He has gotten rich at our father's expense." When Jacob saw the look on Laban's face, he could tell his attitude toward him had changed. The Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your fathers and to your relatives. I will be with you." So Jacob sent a message for Rachel and Leah to come to the field where his flocks were. There he said to them, "I can tell that your father's attitude toward me has changed, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I have worked for your father as hard as I could, but your father has humiliated me and changed my wages 10 times. But God has not permitted him to do me any harm. If he said, 'The speckled animals will be your wage,' then an entire flock gave birth to speckled offspring. But if he said, 'The streaked animals will be your wage,' then the entire flock gave birth to streaked offspring. In this way, God has snatched away your father's livestock and given them to me. Once during breeding season, I saw in a dream that the male goats mating with the flocks were streaked, speckled, and spotted. In the dream, the angel of God said to me, 'Jacob.' 'Here I am,' I replied. Then he said, 'Observe all the male goats mating with the flocks are streaked, speckled, or spotted, for I have observed all that Laban has done to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed the sacred stone and made a vow to me. Where you anointed the sacred stone and made a vow to me. Now leave this land immediately and return to your native land.' Then Rachel and Leah replied to him, 'Do we still have any portion of inheritance in our father's house? Hasn't he treated us, I'm sorry, like foreigners? He not only sold us, but he completely wasted the money paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God has snatched away from our father's belongings to us and to our children. So now do everything God has told you.' So Jacob immediately put his children and his wives on camels. He took away all the livestock he had acquired from Paddan Aram, and all his movable property that he could accumulate. Then he set out toward the land of Canaan to return to his father Isaac. While Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole the teraphims that belonged to her father. Jacob also deceived Laban and the Aramean by not telling him that he was leaving. He left with all he owned. He quickly crossed the Euphrates River and headed for the hill country of Gilead. 3 days later, Laban discovered Jacob had left, so he took his relatives with him and pursued Jacob for 7 days. He caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead, but God came to Laban, the Aramean, in a dream at night and warned him, "Be careful that you neither bless nor curse Jacob." Laban overtook Jacob, and when Jacob pitched his tent in the hill country of Gilead, Laban and his relatives set up camp there too. "That What have you done?" Laban demanded of Jacob. "You deceived me and carried away my daughters as if they were captives of war. Why did you run away secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you off with a celebration complete with singing, tambourines, and harps? You didn't even allow me to kiss my daughters and my grandchildren goodbye. You have acted foolishly. I have the power to do you harm, but the God of your father told me last night, 'Be careful that you neither bless nor curse Jacob.' Now I understand that you have gone away because you long desperately for your father's house. Yet why did you steal my gods?" "I left secretly because I was afraid," Jacob replied to Laban. "I thought you might take your daughters away from me by force. Whoever has taken your gods will be put to death in the presence of our relatives. Identify whatever is yours and take it." Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. So Laban entered Jacob's tent and Leah's tent and the tent of the two female servants, but he did not find the idols. Then he left Leah's tent and entered Rachel's. Now Rachel had taken the idols and put them inside her camel's saddle and sat on them. Laban searched the whole tent, but did not find them. Rachel said to her father, "Don't be angry, my lord. I cannot stand up in your presence, because I am having my period." So he searched thoroughly, but did not find the idols. Jacob became angry and argued with Laban. "What did I do wrong?" he demanded of Laban. "What sin of mine prompted you to chase after me in hot pursuit? When you searched through all my goods, did you find anything that belongs to you? Set it here before my relatives and yours, and let them settle the dispute between the two of us. I've been with you for the past 20 years. Your ewes and female goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten rams from your flocks. Animals torn by wild beasts I have never brought to you. I always absorbed the loss myself. You always made me pay for every missing animal, whether it was taken by day or at night. I was consumed by scorching heat during the day and by piercing cold at night, and I went without sleep. This is my lot for 20 years in your house. I worked like a slave for I worked like a slave for you. 14 years for 2 daughters and 6 years for your flocks. But you changed my wages 10 times. If the God my father, the God of Abraham, the one who Isaac fears, had not been with me, you would certainly have sent me away empty-handed. But God saw how I was oppressed and how hard I worked, and he rebuked you last night." Laban replied to Jacob, "These women are my daughters, these children are my grandchildren, and these flocks are my flocks. All that you see belongs to me. But how can I harm these daughters of mine today, or these children to whom they have given birth? So now come, let's make a formal agreement, you and I, and it will be proof that we have made peace." So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a memorial pillar. Then he said to his relatives, "Gather stones." So they brought stones and put them in a pile. They ate there by the pile of stones. Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. Laban said, "This pile of stones is a witness of our agreement today, that this is why it was called Galeed. It was also called Mizpah, because he said, 'May the Lord watch between us when we are out of sight of one another. If you mistreat my daughters, or if you take wives besides my daughters, although no one else is with us, realize that God is witness to your action. Here is the pile of stones, and this pillar I have set up between me and you.'" Laban said to Jacob, "This pile of stones and the pillars are reminders that I will not pass beyond the pile to come to harm you, and that you will not pass beyond the pile, this pillar, to come to harm me. May the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the gods of their father, judge between us." Jacob took an oath by the God whom his father Isaac feared. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain and invited his relatives to eat the meal. They ate the meal and spent the night on the mountain. Early in the morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters goodbye and blessed them. Then Laban left and returned home. Chapter 23. So Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When he saw Ja- when he saw Ja- ugh, when Jacob saw them, he exclaimed, "This is the camp of God." So he named the place Mahanaim. Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers on ahead, so his brother Esau in the land of Seir, the region of Edom. He commanded them, this is what we must say to my lord Esau. This is what your servant Jacob says. I have been staying with Laban until now. I have oxen, donkey, sheep, and male and female servants. I have sent this message to inform my lord, so that I may find favor in your sight. The messengers returned to Jacob and said, "We went to your brother Esau. He is coming to meet you and has 400 men with him." Jacob was very afraid and upset. So he divided the people who were with him into two camps, as well as flocks, herds, and camels. If Esau attacks one camp, he thought, then the other camp will be able to escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, O Lord, you said to me, 'Return to your land and to your relatives, and I will make you prosper.' I am not worthy of all the faithful love you have shown my servant. With only my walking stick I crossed the Jordan, but now I have become two camps. Rescue me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, as well as the mothers with their children. But you said, 'I will certainly make you prosper, and you will make your descendants like the sand of the seashore, too numerous to count.'" Jacob stayed there that night. Then he sent a gift to his brother Esau, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls. The 20 female donkeys and the 10 male donkeys he entrusted them to his servants, who divided them into herds. He told his let me move this around. He told his servants, "Pass over before me and keep some distance between one herd and the next." He instructed the servant leading the first herd, "When my brother Esau meets you and asks, 'To whom do you belong? Where are you going? Whose herds are you driving?' then you must say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob.'" That's straight. Sorry, guys. They belong to your servant Jacob. They have sent a gift to my lord Esau. In fact, Jacob himself is behind us. He also gave these instructions to the second and third servants, as well as all those who are following the herds, saying, "You must say the same thing to Esau when you meet him. You must also say, 'In fact, your servant Jacob is behind us.'" Jacob thought, "I will first appease him by sending a gift ahead of me. After that I will meet him. Perhaps he will accept me." So the gifts were sent on ahead of him while he spent the night in the camp. During the night Jacob quickly took his two wives, his two female servants, and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream along with all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone. Then a man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw that he could not defeat Jacob, he struck the socket of his hip, so the socket of Jacob's hip was dislocated while he wrestled with him. Then the man said, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." "I will not let you go," Jacob replied, "unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" He answered, "Jacob." "No longer will your name be Jacob," the man told him, "but Israel, because you have fought with God and with the men who have prevailed. Then Jacob asked, "Please tell me your name." "Why do you ask my name?" the man replied. Then he blessed Jacob there. So Jacob named the place Peniel, explaining, "Certainly I have seen God face to face and have survived." The sun rose over as he crossed over Peniel, but he was limping because of his hip. That is why to this day the Israelites do not eat sinew which is attached to the socket of the hip, because he struck the socket of Jacob's hip near the attached sinew. Let's take a quiet moment to pray together. Father, thank you for being here with us right now. Thank you for the peace that comes when we slow down and breathe in your presence. As we sit with the chapters 30 through 32, I'm reminded of how deeply you understand us, our struggles, our fears, our desires, and the places where we feel stretched thin. You meet us in all of it, gently, patiently, like a loving father guiding a child who's still learning how to trust the journey. Lord, in these chapters, Jacob's life is full of tension and uncertainty, and yet you never left him. Your word says, God has seen my affliction. Genesis 31, verse 42. And Father, that truth still reaches us today. For the person listening who feels worn down, misunderstood, or overlooked, remind them that you see every burden they carry. You see the things they don't say out loud. You see the effort they pour into their days, and you hold their pain with tenderness. And when you spoke to Jacob, you said, "Return to the land of your fathers, and to your family, and I will be with you." Genesis 31, verse 3. Lord, sometimes you call us into seasons that feel uncertain, seasons where we don't know what's waiting for us, but you promise to be with us. Help the person listening feel that promise today, that they are not walking alone, that you go before them, and that you stand beside them in every step. Father, one of the most powerful moments in these chapters is when Jacob wrestled through the night. Your word says, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Genesis chapter 32, verse 26. And sometimes that's where we are too, holding on through the night seasons, through the questions, through the fears, through the things we don't understand. Lord, bless the person listening in the places where they've been wrestling. Bless them with peace where there has been anxiety. Bless them in the clarity where there has been confusion. Bless them with strength where they feel tired. Bless them with hope where they feel empty. Help us apply these chapters to our life today. When life feels complicated, remind us that you see our affliction. When we're unsure of the next step, remind us that you are with us. When we're wrestling with something heavy, remind us that blessings often come from the very place we struggle the most. Father, hold the person listening right now the way a loving father holds a child, gently, securely, without rushing, and without judgment. Let them feel safe in your presence. Let them feel steady in your love. Let them feel seen, known, and deeply understood. Walk with them through whatever they're facing today, the decisions, the healing, the waiting, the hoping, and the becoming. Thank you for being gentle with our hearts. Thank you for loving us with a love that never wavers. Thank you for guiding us, protecting us, and providing us in every chapter of our lives. In your holy, matchless, beautiful name, amen.